Care package inbound.
Hi guys, it's just a little addition to the next video because I am a dope and I forgot all about the purity seal that we didn't do, which is an extra that you will glue on once you've painted your bolter. Usually when I'm doing my purity seals, I use ones that I've molded, but because we're trying to make this entire thing out of EVA Foam, so it's easy for you guys, I'm going to try and make one out of EVA Foam. Now I'll start by saying I am not a sculptor, not by any stretch. I can't draw. I am pretty rubbish when it comes to things like that. So we're going to just give this a go, see if it works. Hopefully it will. And then you'll have yourself a wax purity seal. If you don't want to do it, you can buy these things here in office stores. I like little fake ones, but I think they look a bit rubbish. And anyway, we're trying to make it in foam, so here we go. I'm going to start by cutting out a circle. Pop that out. And I'm probably going to crush the middle of this, but first I'm going to smooth it out and then maybe give it some sort of waxy mess with the Dremel. If you haven't got a Dremel, cut it. Just start doing this sort of thing. And I think that'll still work. In fact, I'll do some of this with the scissors just to see. I'm hoping this is on screen because as usual I cannot see the view screen. Alright, I'll fix that up with the Dremel. You get the idea. And we'll maybe stick one of these logos in the center of it so that it matches, and we'll stick it to the other side once it's done. I'll be right back once I've Dremeled this. Second attempt, similar to the first. See if we can actually nail the center of this time instead of doing it off center. Okay, boy, I really had to push on that with all my might. But we've kind of got something happening. I think it'll be okay. And once it's stuck on and painted, that was just using this again to do that, and I just leant on it with all my body weight basically. Might stick one of these in the center of this, and you'll no doubt see it when it's finished. This is the stuff that I use for the actual ribbon. A hessian sort of material. It's quite good because you can ride on it, and it splits a little when you cut it, so you get a cool effect, but it doesn't split completely. So yeah, so you'll see that when it's finished. I'll make sure I make that part of the tutorial so you're not missing out. Next time you see this, it will probably have this glued in the middle, maybe a little tiny one. Keep that theme running. Yes, so sorry about that guys, I completely slipped my mind to do that when we were doing this. So that's why this part of the build is after this is already undercoated, because when you see this next it will be plasti dipped. There we go. Alright, I'll catch you in the next part. Exciting. Time to paint this bad boy. Hi guys, Nerfenstein here with part 3 of our build your own bolter tutorial. You can see that I've coated it in this stuff, Plasti Dip, which is sort of a rubber coating. Hugely expensive here in Australia. This can cost me $34. So yeah, not to be used lightly. That seals the foam, and we're good to go for painting it. Any sort of smudges you can see is where I've gone over it with some acrylics. So there's 2 different blacks on here, but not too worried about that because painting it will go over that anyway. And the seal is done. I've coated that in the Plasti Dip also after forgetting to do it, and I've cut out some of that cloth that I showed you, so we'll be drawing on that. I think we'll start with this, get it done. Now it's got a black base, so I'm going to go over it with some of this dark red that I've made up. A new brush. Little tiny bit of red. Okay, and I'll speed through this so that you don't need to endure it. You can see that that is coming along here. We'll stick this on last once everything else is painted. Probably to the other side, because the other side doesn't have as much decoration on it. Like this. Looking okay. One more, I think. Yeah, don't want to overdo it. We're done. So this will look like this. Nice and bright. Hopefully you can see that. I'll stand up, make sure. You see that? Okay, moving on to the BOLTER. Just going to smash this out. It will look quite messy, but it should work. I'm in a rush as usual today. Got to get back to actual paid work once I've done this for you guys. Okay, start with this. As I said, it will look messy, but it's just basically getting the silver to hit all the edges that you have painstakingly made out of the foam. Cheap brushes. I'm going to super speed this one up. In fact, I'm going to stop the video and video this separately so I can speed it up like 4 times. Okay, you get the idea. I'm basically hitting it all over with light coats of silver, even the bits that I know I'm going to paint a different color. The reason for that is if the edges are silver, when I do it in the blue, they should show up a little bit better. Thus doing this. So you can see it's quite easy. It's just time consuming because you're doing it in such light coats. I am going to stop this part of the video and come back when it's finished because I'm not doing anything different other than what I've just shown you. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, trying to hit the edges. Yeah, I'll come back when this is done, this part, and we'll move on to the coloured plating. Okay, we're back, and I just thought I would show you another little tip that I've been doing, which is a bit messy, but get a little bit of the paint on your finger, rub it off, and then hit the edges with your finger. And it's quite time consuming, but you can see you get a nice sort of smudged metal. Smudged metal look. Yeah, too much. And you can also pull it out as well if you want that sort of, like I've done here. And in fact, I'll do some more here. Finger painting. It's like being back at kindergarten. Just pull it out. And get that sort of, like the barrel flashes, burn away. Did the same here. I don't know why, because I'm probably going to paint over these in the blue, but yeah. So that's a little top tip. You can see that I've mostly use the brush. It's only a few edges that I've hit with my finger. And you've got that sort of metal look. Probably looks too metal at the moment, but we're going to do the wrap and we're going to do these plating areas. So what I'm going to do now is go off the video, tape off these areas here, which is what you'll need to do as well. So you'll need some masking tape that's not too crazy strong so you don't rip your lovely paintwork off. And we'll hit this with some blue. I'll be right back. Just a top tip, I'm using my Nerfenstein tested stick your tape to the bench and then peel your tape off. Makes it slightly less sticky and stops it from peeling everything else off that you're trying to work on. So yeah, that's generally what I would do. A little bit of residue. And we're just going to tape all the way around so that the only part that is sticking up is this part. Here we go, guys, check it out. Look at my awesome neat taping. It's a masterpiece. I've taped off all of the plating on both sides. Okay. Same old, same old. I actually would be taking my time, more so than this if this were a commission, but it isn't. It's for a video and I need to get the video live so that you're not all left hanging, wanting to see how it ended up. I know the videos haven't had a lot of views, but I figure if I've helped 20 people, that's 20 people I've helped, which is great. I'm purely doing this because I am rushing. Usually I'd let that dry. Just going to crack on with the other side. Just don't want it to pick up any residue off this table, because although I've wiped it, it's probably not the cleanest. Okay, looks like it's covered in the dark. I'm gonna go for a lighter, slightly lighter shade now. Got both sides done in the blue now. That's the two different shades. And now I'm about to hit it with the really light blue to bring up the edges everywhere. And then that's the plating done. Okay, let's do this. Super light. So these are the colors that we've used. Dark, sort of a bright but dark, and really light. Literally just for the edges, this one. You'll see what I mean in a second. Tiny little blob. Brand new brush again. Multiple brushes. I think I mentioned that I use loads of brushes when I'm doing commissions because I change them as soon as they get sticky. Okay, it's really important that you wipe this off because otherwise you're going to end up with really light blue streaks everywhere, which has happened to me before and it's highly frustrating. You have to go back over it in the dark. So make sure you're doing this. Get it all off. I think I mentioned in my other video that seems counterproductive, but it works well for me. So this is going to be time consuming, so I'm going to speed it up for you guys, and hopefully you'll see that effect starting to happen. It's still a little bit wet in places, so if that's catching the light, that's why. Hopefully you can see that. I am going to stop this video and crack on with both sides and come back when it's done. Same process on both sides. Hit the edges and go over the center as well to lighten that slightly, because you don't want it to blend into the background when you take the tape off. That would be a nightmare. Yeah, I'll come back when this is done. And here we are. I've taken the tape off. You can see. Both sides now highlighted with the blue. It's coming along, not too bad. Next up, this bad boy, and I'm thinking we might do this in some kind of brown, just so that it's a different color to the wax seal and the blue of here. And I need to do the rivets, if I can find my small brush. Oops. We'll be getting in there with some silver as well to make them pop a little bit. I was going to do this in silver, but I kind of like how it's turned out with the blue. So I might just leave that. Right, taping this off and hitting that with a different color to what we've already used. I'll come back once it's taped. Okay, we're all taped. I've decided to go with dark brown for the base. I might reuse the silver brush now it's dried, because I am not made of money. I'm just going to hit this. I've reused the tape that I used on the plating pieces. And this is going to be more of this. Making sure you hit every edge. Very time consuming, so again, I'm either going to speed it up or skip it, because it is literally back and forth many times. Okay, I think that's the first coat done. Hopefully you can see that. I will take photos. I know that I've mentioned before, excuse me, my lighting is terrible in this garage, but I'll take photos and inset them so that you can see what's actually happened. With that, I'm going to go for a little bit of sort of, oh, what would this be? Burnt sienna, apparently. Again, wipe it all off and it will slowly merge onto the brush over that dark after a couple of passovers. Okay, I think we're done. You could go over it again with a lighter colour if you like, but I'm quite happy with that. I'm just going to take the tape off. Here we go. Hopefully the lighting in here is letting you see that. I think it looks pretty nice. And we're nearly done. Yeah, there's a few other things you could do. As I said, it's your bolter. Do what you like, hey? I've lost my ribbon. Okay, next up, I'm just going to find some random Latin business, or maybe just scribble some, I don't know, stuff that looks like text on there. And we will glue this onto here. And that's your EVA Foam bolter. All EVA Foam other than these two bits. I'll be right back once I've done this. Right, just scribbled some absolute garbage on there. Who knows what it says? It's alien writing. The other thing you can do here is you can get some black paint and literally put it on your hand and do that. I think I will do that just for a laugh. Here we go. Oh, lovely. scrunch it up as well. Make it look like it's been through a bit. There we go. And we're done. Just need to glue this onto our bolter. Just going to use some super glue. Okay, I think we'll stick it here. And here. Here we go. Done. Just got to do those rivets. So I'll do those now and I'll be back. And we're done. Rivets are done. That is on. We're finished, guys. Hopefully you've got something that looks like this. There's still a few things I might fix. I might go around here and sort of darken off areas where it's hitting it. I might fill this in maybe with a little bit more black because I think that would look nicer. But yeah, other than that, a few little mistakes might need fixed. We're done. Hopefully you have got something similar. You can put it on your wall or on your shelf. You can just go around going pew pew. Yeah, I think that's everything. Just try and rack my brain now, make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Clear coat it. Clear coat it if you want it to last. If you're just putting it on a shelf, I would put it like that because sometimes the clear coat can discolor things slightly. So if you're putting it on display, just have it dry like that. I don't think it really matters. Yeah, so that's our bolter, guys. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the next tutorial. If you've got something you want me to try or something you've seen me do before and you want me to do it again for a tutorial, hit me up on Facebook. I'm more than happy to try and help you guys. Yeah, I hope you've liked this bolter build for the Emperor. Nerfenstein.